All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem, Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS, whom rule well, teach well, being great examples for his younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutation, hopefully, out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah. Pushing to get up out of here, Shalom to the hopeful lake of believers and listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh by Shema Shai. What I want to get into this morning, dealing with prayer, fasting, wisdom and faith, because those are the things that we have to apply, within this walk, within, the path of salvation, which is a fight. It's really the fight to salvation. And these are the things, the tools, the mindset, the resources that, the spiritual resources that we have to use within this walk, because we are going to encounter, different, circumstances, different scenarios within this faith. And these things have to be applied, all right, to push through, you know. One thing that Yahweh Shah said when you go to the book of Luke, chapter 8, verse 1, it says, and he spake a parable unto them, and that he is Yahweh Shah. All right. It says, and he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray and not to faint. And as we get more experience in the truth, as we, grow and become more mature and we go through things and are brought through things, prayer has to be a constant, you know, because as we first come in, we go from saying general prayers to having actual conversations with Yahweh Shem Al Shai with the current things that we're going on, being honest in our prayer, being honest in our faults. Because whatever situation that we're in, no matter how vexing it is, no matter how wrong, we feel, okay, we're not innocent in the situation. The Lord takes us through things and we have to confess our faults in every situation as well, you know. So when we go through certain situations, one of the main things, and speaking to myself first and foremost, is we have to, always examine ourselves in every situation and see where our faults lie, see what we did wrong in the situation, you know, because we don't go through any situation where we're just innocent, okay? We're being vexed for a certain reason. We're being chastised for a certain reason, you know, whether it's something we did or the Lord is getting, something that's instilled in us, unwanted quality that's instilled in us. He's getting it out of us, man. So he'll send us through certain scenarios. He'll allow Satan to jump on certain people, you know. And one of the best things to pray for is ask the Lord to see, what it is that he's trying to show us, man, and give us the ability to make the adjustments, man, and get better, because the Lord is sending us through these trials, okay, to mold us for salvation, man. All right, and prayer is a major part, of this walk. Now you go to Luke 18 and 1 in the NLT. It says, one day Yahweh told his disciples a story to show that they should always pray and never give up, So it's important to keep that communication line, open when it comes to Yahweh Shem Shai. All right. And one thing about prayer, our prayers are most potent whenever we're doing a fast, and we'll get it. All right. Prayers are the most potent, during fast. Um, let's get that in the book of let's get this in the book of Matthew chapter 17, starting at 14, get this account. And it says, and when they will come to the multitude, there came to him a certain man kneeling down to him and saying, Lord, have mercy on my son, for he is a lunatic and sore vexed, for oft times he falleth into the fire and off into the water. And I brought him to thy disciples, and they could not cure him. Then Yahushua answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him hither to me. Okay? So you had young Jake that was possessed, with demons. Okay, and the disciples, they couldn't get the demons off of him. Okay? And it says, and Yahushua rebuked the devil, and he departed out of him, and the child was cured for that very hour. Then came the disciples to Yahushua apart and said, why could not we cast him out? And Yahushua said unto them, because of your unbelief. For verily, if I say unto you, if you have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, you shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Howbeit, this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting. Okay? So now fasting is incorporated into the prayer, and then it's good, if you can, to fast, often, especially in these times, man. Fast whenever you can, because, we're in different circumstances, different laborious jobs. Brothers got, sisters in different circumstances, but when you can, it's good to slide a fast into our spiritual regimen so we can really send up them prayers, in that state of fasting, man, because that makes prayer, more potent. Okay? But they were dealing with a situation that the Lord said, look, you only get through this through prayer and fasting. Okay? And then having the faith as we pray. Having the faith that the Lord is going to put us exactly where we need to be. The Lord is going to get us through whatever situation we're going through. The Lord is going to get us through, man. There's a faith, aspect of it, is when you pray and fast and just having the faith. The Lord ain't put us in these situations to destroy us or just have us down bad. The Lord is conditioning us with salvation, man. He ain't got us in, there's no situation, that's just random, It's all geared towards salvation. Matter of fact, let's get that in the book of Romans, the 8th chapter. All right, we are the elect. Every situation that we're in is geared towards salvation, man. No matter what emotion we're going through as we go through it, because in the truth, you're going to go through every emotion, man. You're going to be depressed. You're going to have anxiety. You're going to be sad. You're going to be anxious. You're going to be joyful, okay? You're going to be in your mirth. You're going to be serious. You're going to be extremely serious, strict. Like you go through every emotion possible within the ministry, but it's all for the conditioning of salvation, man. Then we gotta stay. The emotions change, but we gotta stay consistent with the prayer, with the fasting, with becoming better, in righteousness, man. Okay, that one has to stay consistent. This is Romans 8:28. It says, "Yeah, we know that all things work together for good to them that love the Most High, to them who are the called according to His purpose." Okay, everything works for our benefit. Everything works for our good, man. Everything is no matter what like I said, no matter what the situation is, all things work for our good. No matter how vexing it is at the moment, the will of the elect is working towards our good. Because as we do this, look at this in the book of Tobit, chapter 12, verse 8. It says, prayer is good with fasting and alms and righteousness. Okay? A little with righteousness is better than much with unrighteousness. It is better to give alms than to lay up gold. And one thing about it, prayer, fasting, giving alms. And alms isn't always money. Alms isn't always, particular money. As brothers, as we're teaching, this is an alm. When you sacrifice time, when you make, preparations, okay, to get in the spirit, when you cut things out in your day to day to be more in the spirit, that's a form of giving alms. you know. And so homes is, beyond money because it's the most valuable thing that we can give our people is the wisdom of the scriptures, man, and the spirit, you know. But all it is coupled with what? Prayer, and fasting. All right. Now going to the aspect, okay, of patience. Go back to the book of Romans. All right, this is the book of Romans chapter 5, verse 3. It says, and not only so, but we glory in tribulation also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience. So we have to be in tribulation. The Lord thrust us into certain situations of tribulation to work our patience, man. You know? And when let's get the definition of patience. Because see, patience is something that has to be exercised, and tribulation increases patience because we in position that we're pretty much powerless. We got to deal, you know. And you get that word patience. It's it's just a Google search. It said the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset. You see, patience is a thing that has to be practiced. The capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset. You see, that's patience. We gotta suffer whatever we gotta suffer, and we gotta have composure, not to be angry and upset, not to react. Because see, Satan, Satan to jump on different people around us to get their reaction, man, to get that nigga moment. Satan always is looking, you know, to provoke a nigga moment within us, man. You know, because yeah, you're gonna be angry, okay, but it's still about a reaction. It's still about keeping composure. Still, it's gonna be certain things that vex you and that anger us in the truth, man. And you're like, damn, but we gotta suffer. You see, we gotta keep our composure, because it's a repetition thing. Most High, that's why the Most High put you in some tribulation. It seems like it's so intense. It seems like it's just every second, every day, because it's a repetition. Because we should be learning something. If the Lord putting us through a tribulation and it seems just ongoing and constant, then the Lord wants us to learn something. And if we're not learning, we'll just stay in it. You see? I had the last job I was at, I had a manager, who was my, direct superior who I had to answer to. And he was a nigga, you know. He's one of them, know everything nigga. And uh, you know, I used to have a regimen, where I would be able to do a lesson on my break, you know. And then if we worked to 5 o'clock, we had got two breaks, one at 9 and one at 3. And I used to be able to do a lesson on each of my 15-minute breaks, you know. But it got to the point to where, I had a company phone, walkie-talkie, and every time it got to the point when I was getting ready to get in the spirit, this nigga would call and want something, man. You know, I'd be trying to listen to a video at work. This nigga be trying to talk and want to have conversation and all this. And then, I used to be extremely vexed. But then I got to the point to where, okay, I got to embrace this, you know. So let me just be obedient. Let me be in order in this situation and just do what's necessary while I'm up here. And I can just get in the spirit, on my own time, man. And that's why I really started doing those lessons before work, on the way to work in the morning, early in the morning, it was still dark. That's what made me start doing those lessons. And then that's what made me be consistent with the the lessons on lunchtime, because this nigga always had me on this never ending goddamn to do list, man. I'm like, God damn. It was vexing. But I had to suffer with patience, man. That was years. I had to go through that for years, you see. But I see what the Lord was working, within me. The Lord was purging, particular things, out of me, man. And he was testing my patience in that situation. It was a lot of times, hey, I wanted to spaz out. There's a lot of times I wanted to quit, you see, but the Lord had me there until a certain time. But then when it was time for me to move on, the Lord transitioned me out of that, man. You know, but that came through patience, man, prayer, fasting, and applying wisdom. Okay, I had to apply wisdom, to that situation. I had to find a way to still fulfill my duties within the workplace and then fulfill my duties within, the spirit. So it required me to, be, kind of witty and apply wisdom in this situation, you know? And these are all the things that we need as we embark on salvation, man. Okay, so going back to Romans 5 and 3, it says, and not only so, but we glory in tribulations, knowing that tribulation worketh patience. Yeah, so like I said, the tribulations are necessary. Now it's to the point where we glory in certain tribulations, man. You know, hey, you get to the point to where when Most High got you, you're back against the wall. Like damn, what I'm gonna do? So you get to the point of like, okay, it's that time to apply these things, man. Apply prayer, apply fasting, apply wisdom, man. Because hey, the Lord put us in situations where we got to think our way out. You know, we gotta really get into here. See, this captivity is a big mind game. You know, like the chattel slavery that we was in, it was more laborious. It was about the labor. But this captivity that we in now, okay, this phase of captivity is more of a mind thing, man. You know, it's a thing of the mind. Okay, so let's go here. It says, in patience, experience hope. Okay, so patience gives us the experience. Okay, to where now we be in certain situations. It's like, okay, I've been here before. I know what the Lord finna do. Okay, I've been here before. Okay, I know how to get out of this situation. You're getting that experience. You see, we gaining experience in this truth, man, so we can be able to guide others, man. As they go through it, because we go through different things at different times, man. You have believers that's done been through all these phases, certain phases before, man. You know, and can guide others, within that. You know, that's why it's always good to just listen to the apostles and elders, because you're getting that wisdom and knowledge, but you're getting it from a perspective of experience, because you can bring out precepts and go into, books and, documentaries and certain things, but one thing that you can't duplicate is the experience. You gotta live, you gotta be here, you gotta go through things to get that experience, man. So the heads of the camps, the apostles and elders, these men that been here, like, you listen and you get the experience aspect of it, man, of the wisdom and knowledge. Okay? Now, let's go from there. Let's get 2 Corinthians, so we in situation, you gotta embrace the situation, and do what you can do, and make a way for the spirit, In 2 Corinthians 6 and 3, it says, giving no offense in anything, that the ministry be not blamed, So we have to be mindful of our conduct, because there's like this situation, and I was in, if I was just constantly having nigga moments, and then someone finds out what I'm a part of, well, they're like, damn, this doctrine makes them act like that, you know. He followed this, and this is how he acts. You see? So we have to remember that we have to have a conduct, You know, when we in these situations, in these personal day-to-day situations, we still represent a brand. We still represent, okay, we still come under the banner of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. Okay, that's why it ain't all about, getting our carnal lick back, getting the corruptible crown in the situation. It's about applying wisdom, with balance in these situations, man. You know, so that the ministry not blamed. All right. Verse 4 says, but in all things, approving ourselves as the ministers of the Most High, and much patient in afflictions, in necessities, in distress. You see? So through all these things, we still have to apply wisdom in afflictions, in necessities, in distress. Okay? And it says with much patience, in stripes, and imprisonments, and tumults, and labors, and watchings, and fastings. And see that the apostles, I said Apostle Paul was getting beat, with stripes. They killed him, they stoned him. You like Apostle Paul, you know a stoning? You see? Like they was going through it. Okay? And tumults, all that traveling, that was dangerous, man. Wild beasts, they was really out there. You see, so the thing that we go through sometimes, that's another thing. Satan always tries to magnify and project, these situations as something way bigger than what they are. We ain't going through nowhere near the things that the apostles was going through, in times of Acts, and we're not going through those things, man. They suffered on a whole nother level. You see, and we coming into some, the suffering is going to increase as we get, close to the persecution, the chaos, the straight gate. All right, but we go through these, simulations now. That's conditioning us, all right, to react in the spirit when we do fully enter into this straight gate. So let's go here. And I'll end it here. I won't make it too long. All right, this is Colossians 1. All right, this is on Colossians 1 and 9. All right, I started at 10, get to the point. It says, I started at 9. It said, for this cause we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you and to desire that ye might be filled with the knowledge of his will and all wisdom and spiritual understanding, that ye might walk worthy of the Lord unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good work and increasing in the knowledge of the Most High. Okay? So the ministry is about what? Increasing in wisdom, because as we increase in wisdom, we have more in our arsenal to apply to these situations, man. And as we increase in wisdom, we understand the bigger picture of this thing. Okay, so we don't get bogged down in the pettiness of our day to day. Verse 11, and it says, strengthen with all might according to his glorious power unto all patience and long suffering with joyfulness, man. And the more we understand the bigger picture of this thing, the more we're going to be, provoked to go through long suffering. Okay? Because what we going through ain't worth what we're finna be opened up to. The glory that's to come, these little minute things that we go through is not worthy when we understand what we got coming, and the promises, and we understand the bigger picture more and more. It minimizes, it shrinks. Okay, these little petty situations that we find ourselves in our day to day. And it gives us, the motivation to have that patience to suffer these things, man. But at the end of the day, we gotta continue to apply, prayer, fasting, wisdom and patience in these situations, you know. So that was the point, Lord will you brothers. All right. And you few sisters edified till next time I say Shalom. Go on now, Shalom. Bye, DTA, Shalom.